Hello everybody, it's the 10th of June today, 2025, and I'm looking at my Indian bean tree, which I have just noticed has got I don't know if you can see that, but that is a bleeding vine weevil. And I've just spotted it on the pot. I'm afraid that's going under the boot. I have treated all my trees with vine weevil nematodes, which should in theory eat the offspring before they can do any damage. It seems possibly some have come through, which isn't an encouraging thought. I think I shall be ordering another batch and administering some more, because the last thing I want is this tree to just fall over because it's had all its roots eaten out from under it. Anyway, I'll give you a quick twirl, and I don't know how well it's showing up on camera. This tree is going to have to be quite big because Indian bean trees are known for their long racemes of flowers, and they need a certain amount of height when that eventually happens, and who knows how long that'll be. But what I'm getting is this straight growth. These new growth this year have all grown straight upwards to the sky, which I'm not entirely happy with, obviously, and a bit of die off in the centre. So let's move in and look at some details on this tree. First thing you might notice is the Cooper sneaking around the corner. But what I do have, and let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit, is I'm quite pleased with the root spread on this tree, and I'm beginning to get some reasonable taper. I have a large scar here, and I have a shoot here that's growing directly out from that, and I think I'm going to leave that to thicken the trunk some more and cover this scar over a bit more quickly. So I'm going to leave that as it is, I believe. What I want to do is work on this top. So what I want to do is open this crown, do something about these dead straight growths that are a little bit, well, dead straight and boring. And I'm going to try and do that now while it's still green. I think I also need to remove this wire because it's beginning to cut in. So this one has been on there since over winter. I can't remember exactly when I wired it, but it seems to reasonably have done the job. So I may at some point have to reapply, but for now it is definitely starting to cut in. So it needs to come off. Okay, now then, well, let's see what I can do about some of these shoots. I'm using some fairly thin wire because this is fairly supple stuff, but it's also quite delicate, and it won't take very much to snap it, and it has no bark. Worth speaking of, so scarring is also quite likely. So I'm using some fairly thin, fairly easily manipulated, sorry, excuse my elbow and armpit, wire that I can manipulate easily without too much trouble. And then I'm going to try and impart some movement. This being my front, I want this branch to come forward and to the right, down and up again. And then I'm going to take out the growing tip, like so. You probably haven't seen any of that. Okay, that looks a bit better. There's another piece at the back here, which I'm going to do something similar with. Think of that piece of wire. This won't be able to stay on very long, but the tree should set relatively quickly. So again, I want it to come out and back, slightly down. I really don't want to snap it, and back up again. And again, I'm going to pinch out that growing tip. So that will give the tree a bit more 3 dimensions. I've got a piece here. It's not doing very much, although it has a bit of movement in it. I'd kind of like it to do that. I may get rid of it in a final design, but as it is rather far forward. But for now, it'll give the tree a bit of strength and growth. And again, pinch out that growing tip. Both these branches have sprung back some, haven't they? This piece at the back, okay, this piece has died off in the centre, so I'm going to take that right back. No good to nobody, and tidy that up a little bit. But I do have a new shoot coming just there, which will be interesting, so I'm going to try and keep that. I'm going to try and rewire these 2 bits. Back down some. Not sure if this will do it. We shall see. Yeah, that's holding. And that's holding. Okay. And then I'm going to shorten this, and I'm going to shorten that. And I think that gives an interesting looking head for the beginning of this broom style tree. Still not a lot to write home about, but hey, I've only been growing it for a couple of years. I'm going to take this back piece off. I don't know, it's not really contributing a lot. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it alone for now. Okay, so a very quick one. Giving this tree a bit more setup for its later life. We shall see how it goes when we come back and look at it again later in the year, perhaps, or early next year. I'll pop the can in just so you can have a rough idea of how big it is, and I shall say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, comment below, but mostly please stay safe, everybody.